live. Is that right? Let me just double check on this. Yep. Okay. I think that's it. I think we're live. Well, hello everyone. Let me just see if I can get this set up on here now. This is my first time streaming, so let's see if I can get this working. So, yeah. Well, hello everyone. Just thought I'd come through and set up a stream. Been wanting to do this for a little while, and yeah, so hopefully this works. So just let me, I don't know if the light's quite right. Hang on 2 seconds. Okay, set this up a bit more. Let's go. All right. Let's see if this one works. All right. So, welcome everyone to the first live stream. So, yeah, just like I said, I've wanted to do a live stream for a while, set up and see how this all sort of works really. So, hopefully audio's okay, video's okay, and then we'll sort of go from there. So, thank you and welcome. So I think I just want to call this a photography chat really. So just feel free, if there's anyone ever comes on, you can ask a question. There's someone on there. Thank you very much. That's my wife. Thanks. Hopefully the audio's okay. So yes, I'll just take you through. Probably today, just want to have a chat about my photography journey, and then also you know, how I set this live stream up actually, because it's interesting to sort of see how I set that up. So yeah, so I like, you know, most of you guys know I use Nikon gear. So I'm on a Z6 at the moment, and then from there I'm using the DJI mic, and I'm just using that wireless one here, but I've just got that on a stand here. So hang on a sec, I'll just show you. That's that there. So that's what I'm using as the audio equipment. I'm just running this through a video capture card. So I just bought a video capture card off eBay, and just about $40 for that. Just run that through the PC and then in. So quite easy setup actually. So that's really good. So yeah, Nikon Z6 with the DJI mic, just a $40 video capture card off eBay, and then away we go. So I'm actually streaming through OBS as the software, which I think a lot of the gamers use these days. So so using OBS, never quite think I've got all everything sort of set up completely right yet, but yeah, so that's good. So let me see if I can enter a message here in the chat. Test message. I think that will work. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think that works. So again, so I'm just sending that through OBS as well. So yeah, so that's how it's set up. Looking at it now, it's probably not quite the right white balance and things like that, but not too bad for the first stream. So hopefully that goes live and we're okay. So yeah, interesting to go into streaming using OBS for the first time. It's actually a little bit like Premiere Pro in the fact that they use a lot of layers and things like that, how you want to set up your screen and all those kinds of bits and pieces. So yeah, so if anyone does come on, feel free to type in and ask a question, anything about photography at all. So yeah, so that's that. So for me, my photography, I suppose, let's just talk about my gear. Like I said, so always been a long-term Nikon user. I started off actually at probably, I want to say 10 to 15 years ago, and I got actually my first camera I still got actually, which is this one here, which is the D 3100. It's probably not even worth $5 these days, but that's what I had. It's my very first Nikon mirrorless, digital SLR. And then what I did is I moved into this is probably still my favourite camera that I ever have, and it's really sort of accelerated my growth as a photographer. This is the D7100. So look, let me see if I can get that in there. Hopefully autofocuses. There we go. So that's the D7100 there. So love this camera. Crop sensor still, but close to a real professional grade for the price. So it was a really good camera there. And then sort of from there I moved into what they call the Landscape King, and that is the D810. So Nikon D810 there. If that focuses. There we go, come on. Anyway, D810, and yeah, love that for my landscapes really. And then, let me get this focus. So focusing, there we go. D810, because I love my landscape photography. This is a beast when it comes to landscape. Good all-rounder really, but an amazing landscape stills camera, and just brilliant. Even to this day, if I'm doing landscapes, I'll use this definitely over the Nikon Z6. So a really good camera. Oh. Stop that. So from there really, then I've sort of graduated. Really wanted to get into more doing some more videography, I suppose, and so what I really wanted to sort of look at was how do I get a camera that has a better hybrid capabilities. I started getting into video, and then I had the D810, and it's just not a good video camera. So I know, I did a video a couple of years ago on what I still like and don't like about the D810, and yeah, I know I copped some flack. It's one of my best viewed videos actually, the D810 video, and it's very opinionated. JJ Hickles, Lara sent me. Okay, well, thank you very much. And the D810 video is probably like I said, one of my most viewed videos, and it's very polarizing. Some people hate me for that video because I'm trashing the D810, but I think it's a bit misconstrued in that it's not that I don't like the camera, it's just not a good video camera, and I really found that out as I moved more into video. So yeah, that's interesting. So hey, JJ Hickles, is the audio and the video quality okay? Just type a message if you think it's okay. And then yeah, so it's just I want to move into the Nikon Z6 just because it's a nice hybrid camera and some decent autofocus. Look, as a stills camera, it's not too bad as well. The audio, the autofocus is okay. The face to text, they've improved that over the time, but there's only so much the hardware can do on the Z6. So that's sort of my. Oh, thank you. It's perfect. Great. Excellent. So yeah, that's the sort of the photography journey. The gear that I use from my main camera gear. Like I said, I use the DJI mic system, which is this baby here. So let's see if this autofocuses. There. It's a great system. I've got one of them at the moment. This is the other one, just for if you're doing interviews and things like that as well. It's a great little system. Great for when you go out and about. And then it's actually pretty good internally as well. So good mic system as well. So that's really helped with the audio. few tripods and all that kinds of bits and pieces over the years, and then recently purchased in a DJI Action 2 from an action cam perspective, which is this one here. Now this is a tiny little camera, and I actually really love it because it's so small. I used it for the first time in Melbourne. Want to do a street photography session, and I filmed this on here and I posted on YouTube. So there's a video on YouTube of some antics in Melbourne when I did some street photography recently, and then this is what I used for that. It's a great tiny little camera, and it's quite modular as well. So this is the extra battery pack there that you just sort of clips on if you want the extra battery power and things like that. So really good little action cam, and I use this a little bit as well. So that's sort of me, sort of the gear I use. So just generally, what do I like to shoot? So for me, like I said, I reckon landscape is what sort of got me into photography the most. Still love my landscape photography to this day, but I'm really a jack of all trades as well. So I love portrait photography. Not that my son or my daughter or my wife actually like to take pictures, so they choose to not like to have their pictures taken, which is sometimes can be frustrating, but that's okay. Can you bring up the shots of Melbourne? Yeah, I probably can. Now you're pushing my boundaries of how I can share that, but yes, I can do that. So I'll bring up the shots of Melbourne in a second. I've got to find them where they are, and then so it's jack of all trades really, photography. I just like to try everything and just try and learn. So let me see if I can bring up some Melbourne shots. I've got to find them now. So Melbourne shots, I'll give you that. So they're on my YouTube video, I've got some there, but let me just take you through some shots of Melbourne from my recent street photography. So if I grab into, just don't know how I'm going to do this on a single screen, so let me see if I can actually do this. So if I bring up, I'll bring this down so you can still see me, and then if I bring up a display there and then minimize, so I don't know if you can see that, so let me just check on my screen here. Let's have a look. Perfect, yep. I think that's right, and I think that's right, yeah, okay, perfect. You might see, so this is some shots I've took in. This was probably, 3 months ago. Really had a great session just because it was raining, so beautiful reflections and things like that. So here's some shots of Melbourne. Good thing about street, you can create a bit of mood, especially when it's raining. This is just of a restaurant, of some people walking past. Just love the lights coming out of this sort of Japanese restaurant there. What else we got here? That's another one as well, of that Japanese restaurant. And then, so then I took a photo of the old Porsche 911 GT2 RS, which is probably, interesting, my favourite car of all time. This car is probably worth $750,000 to $1 million. So I love this car. Just happened to walk past it, so absolutely amazing car, and I really like that shot as well. Took this photo just really not of the guy in the foreground, but the mist. If you have a look in the background with the mist, you can see the tower sort of fading away in the mist. So that's why I took that shot there. And then just wanted to get down low with the mist of the building, high-rise building in the background, and see if I can get a bit of some reflections off the dampness of the sidewalk as well in this image. So probably a little bit, I would say I wouldn't mind getting rid of the sign post, but you can't help that. I could have edited it out, but I tend to not like to over edit and get rid of stuff if it's not there. It's probably not as genuine to me, I suppose. This shot, not too bad. Didn't quite get this guy right in the middle of the alleyway, so I wish I got him there, but you know, that's the way it is. That's street photography. Just a shot of the trams. Not too interesting, that one. This is a nice one. So this is a cool alleyway in the middle of Melbourne, in the city there. Some nice reflections from that one. Here's another one as well. What else have I got here? Yep, some more reflections of this alleyway. This is a cool shot. Did a little Instagram reel on this one, how I took this shot. Nice in the middle of the frame, bit of nice bokeh in the background. I used the Z6 and just a little nifty 50 or 50mm 1.8. So, you know, that lens is, you know, it's not even the Z mount, it's just the F mount, which so it's, you know, probably $200 lens. So, yeah, nice cheap lens, but getting down to 1.8 to let more light in through the night, so I didn't have to dial up the ISO too much on the Z6. Again, another one of the alleyway. Ben and Jerry's, just some bit of a, you know, people going about their daily life, I suppose. Don't mind this shot actually, just off the biker with the Flinders Street Station in the background. I love the reds in this image with the sign that says the city sign with the arrow. That's I really like that, and then the reflection that creates off the wet sidewalk as well. So that's good. Any action cam footage? You mentioned the new action cam you bought. No action cam footage, because I've just edited it, I suppose, and put it in the video. With the action cam, it's interesting, you learn, you know, I had it at 24 frames a second to try and let as much light as I possibly could at night. What happens at 24 frames a second when you're trying to do the image stabilization, it will take a shutter speed of 1/24 to try and let as much light in, so it creates a bit of jittering in the action cam stabilization, because it's just the software within the action cam, it's just trying really hard. So good lesson to learn for next time is that I will just have to dial up the ISO a lot. I'll probably keep it at 60 frames a second and maybe even to 1/120th, which means I'm going to have to dial up the ISO a lot because the shutter speed's so high, but it'll give me a lot more of a stable footage that way. So, what have we got next? I like this shot of the scooters in the foreground, using the leading lines into the background. That's nice. I really like this shot too. Nice still puddle on the sidewalk there as the reflection of Flinders Street Station in the background. So that was cool. That was a good shot. Just a tramp. What have we got next? This is an interesting one. So these boys, I think I don't know, they're too young to be having a bucks night or something, but this guy obviously holding a massive bottle of Jameson. Yeah, he was obviously the one they were trying to get drunk, and he was pretty drunk, and they were good enough just to give me a smile as I took a photo of them. So yeah, that was pretty funny actually. That was good fun. Some more reflections. As you can see, a lot of my shots I like to have like a moody type of atmosphere. That's my style of sort of landscape and cityscape photography, just to try and generate a bit of emotion in the images that I produce. So I take the shot and then the way they edit as well. So you'll see that in my style if you sort of go onto my Instagram feed, and you'll see that, which is Craig M. Carvel. If you go on my Instagram feed, you'll see most of my landscape shots are quite moody and I suppose emotional, grounded in emotion, I suppose is how I would probably describe it. Another one of the city there, that's on South Bank. Again, this was quite good. This guy just happened to, with the umbrella, happened to stop at that time, and I got to take this shot. So that was quite fortunate actually that he just stopped there, took the shot, and then he kept on walking. So that was quite good. This shot of the bridge with the lady and the umbrella, again, I like the fact that she's there by herself. It's quite deserted. Would have been nice that she was right in the middle, but you can't always have everything. But it's not a bad shot, that one I like. but she's got an umbrella, and there's no one else around, so it's like a deserted city in a way. Again, another umbrella shot, and then I wanted to get the lights. You can see at the top right hand corner of the image going down to the back, and so it's like a bit of a leading line as well as the path of the leading line. So sort of shows you how I composed that shot, sort of using leading lines with the subject coming into the foreground there. And then just this guy just wanted to use some bokeh effect with the seats. I just got right down low, put the camera on the bench seat of the bus stop there, and took this photo. It's interesting actually. Like I was quite a bit nervous to, I suppose, take these shots. It's sort of my first street photography session where I was sort of a bit serious about taking some photos and see how people react. But if you're sort of just walking along and taking a few snaps and moving on, people sort of really don't mind, I think, and they probably half the time don't even know. So I think that's sort of what I've learned a bit, is you sort of be quick, take the shot, but you don't have to hide it or anything, but you just sort of take it and then move on. I like this shot. This is just of a Vespa, obviously. And then again, just wanted to get down really nice and low to get the reflections. I really like the beating of the water, obviously with the rain on the Vespa there as well, so how the water is beating on the Vespa, I think that creates a nice effect as well. And I think that's about it. So let me get rid of this and pull my OBS up again, and I think if I do that, we are back away again, I think. How is that? If I grab my OBS, take off my display capture, and then I think we should be back to a screen of me, hopefully. Yep, alright, perfect. So yeah, that was my trip to Melbourne, and some street photography that I did. So like I said, I mentioned that I really do enjoy just trying different things with my photography over the years. Like I said, I think I'm not a bad landscape photographer. I do like my portrait photography as well, but probably don't get to do as much as I'd like to, I suppose. I really enjoyed some cityscape photography. That was really good as well. Sports and wildlife, I don't think I've ever even tried that, so that'd be great to do one day, but I probably don't have the long enough lenses to have some decent shots on some sports and wildlife. But I know that's quite a specialist role, so it'd be interesting to have a go, but I don't know if I'd be that good at it. But yeah, so sort of more landscape, portraits, cityscape, street is sort of what I sort of do the most of over the past sort of 10 or 15 years. It's been sort of interesting though in the last couple where I live. So I live on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia, and it's a beautiful spot, a lot of beaches and things like that. But after a few years, you sort of go to most of the places, and I've sort of found over the last couple of years, I'm probably not shooting as much as I used to, and that's just because of the tyranny of shooting pretty well everything there is to shoot, probably within a 100 or 200 kilometre radius over probably the last sort of 5 to 10 years. So that's interesting. So I do enjoy going somewhere different. So when I am travelling for work, I tend to sometimes take my gear if I get a chance and opportunity to. When I finish work for the night, I can either go out at night or get up early in the morning and do a bit of sunrise or something like that, if I'm sort of out and about as well. So so look, I'm not in any way, shape or form a full-time photographer. In fact, probably no income from photography. I think probably for the last couple of years, and I've got a full-time job, working. So I love the craft though. So so that's sort of a little bit about me. Look, I think live streaming, I'll just be interested to see how we go. There's one or two viewers, mostly relations, but that's okay of this live stream. But if you do happen to watch this afterwards, obviously it goes up on YouTube and you're watching it after, just feel free, drop a comment on if you enjoyed this or not, or if we can do some more photography chat at some point in the future as well, just so you can type in some questions, have a conversation, anything related to photography or videography. Like I think, over the years I've learnt a lot about photography. I'm still very much in the learning phase of videography from that perspective, but I think I'm getting better at it. Just starting to learn picture profiles to use, trying to learn bit rates and all those kinds of other bits and pieces, and rolling shutters and appropriate shutter speeds versus frame rates and all those kinds of bits and pieces, to improve from a videography perspective, to hopefully improve the quality of the YouTube content that I provide. So that's a little bit about that. So I think for me, finally, is like I said, if you've got any questions as well, put some comments afterwards. If you watch this stream now, obviously if it's not live anymore, put some comments down there. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. If you want me to do some more live streams and see how we go, and happy to interact with you as much as I possibly can as well, and then also go from there. So look, I think that's it for me, and then we might do another live stream maybe in a few weeks or something, and see how we go. But just wanted to test out the first live stream, if I got everything working properly, got my capture card and set it up through the Z6 fine, making sure my audio was okay and OBS was all set up. So so hopefully it wasn't too bad. Let me know if it was okay in the comments, and if you really feel up to it, I'd love if you could like, potentially even if you're not a subscriber, you could subscribe as well. The goal is to get to a point where I can actually monetize. That's the goal. Just a one check from YouTube one day. That would be great. Got enough subscribers, but I don't have enough watch hours over a 12-month period to get to the monetization piece. So one day we'll see how we go. But thanks if you did watch live, appreciate it. If you are coming in afterwards, I appreciate it as well. Just trying to get let you know a little bit more about me. All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that. I'll talk to you all soon, guys. I very much appreciate it. Okay, bye.